These are ingredients for our basic pizza dough. Of course, you're gonna have flour. This is all-purpose flour. Yeast, using active dry yeast. Salt, and I'm gonna use vegetable oil, and then water. I'm gonna weigh everything because I bought the scale for like $9 on Amazon or something. It's under $10. It's pretty accurate, and it makes it a lot better in the long run, I think. Because measuring with volume isn't always the same, because you can pack your flour. Actually, I'm gonna show you a tip first. Because this dough is really wet, it sticks to everything. So what I like to do is the bowl I'm gonna mix it in, take a little bit of oil and go like that around the bowl, and then just spread it around the whole bowl. This makes it where it doesn't stick as much to the sides, and it's easier to clean when we take it out of the bowl. Pro tip. Go ahead and turn on their scale. I got it set to grams because I'm being scientific today. I'm gonna put my water in. I need about, for this amount of dough, for this pan I'm doing, I'm gonna need about 280 grams of water. And now I put water in, I gotta put my yeast in because you're supposed to activate it in a little warm water. This water isn't super warm, but it'll work. I'm gonna use this will be about close to, I'm using a high percentage of yeast this time because we got started a little late. I wanna eat this pizza before midnight tonight. We need about 6 or 7. It's about 1 or 2 packets of yeast. This is a lot of dough. 6.7, calling it. It's like 1.5% by weight, 1.75% by weight. And then we just mix it. Incorporate all the yeast into the water right now. We need about 400 grams of flour. Okay, that's about 400 grams flour. Now we need, let's do about 1 to 2% yeast. So that'd be about 7%. 7 grams of salt. Sounds like a lot, but this is a lot of pizza dough. This is a big thing of pizza dough. There we go. Hopefully the scale is accurate because that looked like a lot of salt. And oil, I put just a little bit of oil. So maybe 1 or 2%, a couple squirts of oil, maybe a tablespoon, 2. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then you can take it off your scale and just start mixing it in. And not get it all over your countertop, hopefully. And this, see, it kind of came together not super well. I'm not really gonna need this a whole lot, like at all actually. I'm just mixing it to where it comes together, and I'm just gonna let it rest because I don't think it needs it. I'm gonna do some other steps that you do with like ciabatta bread and stuff, like stretching and pulling it in a little bit. I'll show you how to do that. But see, it's like super sticky. See that? So if you're gonna touch this at this step, you can either put oil on your hands or you can put like water, cold water, I think, or warm water works pretty well. This is the pan we're gonna use today. It's a weird shaped pan. I don't know what you call this. It's like a half of a normal baking sheet. It's like twice as tall as most pans. So put some oil on the bottom. This is an excess amount of oil. That's how I like it. It kind of makes it like a fried texture on the bottom. You may say, oh, that's weird. That's not pizza. Try it. It's really good. Yeah, it has like it's like a fried dough kind of consistency on the bottom. The rest is like soft and airy. I don't know. It's really good. Take that excess oil and just put it on your hands. You can actually squirt a little bit of oil top of the dough as well.
Don't be afraid to put too much dough or too much oil there because you gotta have oil.
Just makes it a lot easier to handle with oil. Then we're gonna just take it. See, it's not really even mixed together, but it's coming together. That's fine. We're gonna come in. It's gonna rest for a while, and we're gonna like stretch it. It'll come together. Yeah, once it starts fermenting a little bit, it will fill out the whole pan evenly, and it'll look a lot better than it does now. This ain't no pizza snob pizza. I'm not making pizza snob pizza. This is your pizza. You put what you want on it. This pizza, I think the cheese I got today is like a mix of 4 different Italian cheeses. Like it's not even a pizza blend. It's just like a bunch of weird cheeses. It'll work. You like cheddar on your pizza? Throw cheddar on that pizza. Like pepper jack? Throw pepper jack on that pizza. I don't want mozzarella, plain mozzarella by itself. What?
Preach!
I'm just saying, there's too many people out here that are like pizza like purists that just, and food in general, they just ruin food for some people. Like, people just want to eat. They don't need to have all these crazy rules and stipulations about it. That's just my opinion. There's a lot of that. There's a ton of that in the pizza world.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, okay, so I'm just gonna put plastic wrap on it.
Okay, let me get. All right, let me see what you're doing here. So you gotta. All right.
You can put a towel over it, but I like doing this. It keeps keeps it from developing like a film on the outside of it if you don't have... I have a lot of oil on it, so it's okay, but if your dough's a little drier on the drier end, don't put a... hair in your dough. Don't put a...
There's always hair in our food, don't worry.
Don't put a... Like, try to cover the dough as close as you can. The towels might put linen on top of it. You know, they might get a little lint, so you don't really want that. I'm just putting a towel on top because I have one here. And then we'll come back in 30 minutes and we'll check on it, stretch it, put it back in the pan. Okay, it's been a little over 30 minutes, so we're going to check on our pizza now. Our dough. See, it looks a little different now, doesn't it? Slightly. Let me get a little more oil on my hands. It definitely smells like yeast in here. Now we're going to take it. Get a little more oil on my hands. It's still kind of hard to work with at this step. We're going to take it and like fold it over on itself. I don't know why I'm doing this because it's not working out too well, but I think it'll work. I'm trying to develop a little more gluten in it. Like, well, it already has gluten. I'm trying to develop gluten to bind together to make it a little slightly chewier. And you can see there's air bubbles already popping out. That's the yeast doing its magic. And I'm just trying to spread it as good as I can to all the corners. It doesn't have to be perfect. And there, we're good. Let's go ahead and just wrap it back. And we're gonna let it rise. I don't think I'm gonna check on it again and stretch it. It's pretty soft, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull it like I was thinking I could, like normal. When I make it in that thicker pan where it's a little thicker, it's a little easier to deal with, but today it's not one to cooperate as much. So we're just gonna leave it, let it rise to about double the size that it is right now, and then we'll make the pizza and put it in the oven. It's cold today, so we put extra yeast in to help the pizza rise, but it's really cold in here, so it's not really rising. So I got a little pro tip for you if your dough isn't working out too well. So what you're gonna do is you start your oven, just turn it on at like 350 for like a minute, 2 minutes. Our oven heats pretty fast, but yours might be a little longer. But then turn it off completely, and then like open the door, maybe let out. If it feels kind of really hot, let it out. But then touch the racks. The racks aren't hot yet, then it's fine. But if it feels kind of warm, turn the oven light on, slide your proofing pan of pizza in there, and it'll start rising. This has been in here for like 30 or 45 minutes, and it's like way more risen than it was when I checked it before I did this.
Okay, so what are we looking for here? Just
It's doubled. It's at least doubled. It's maybe about 2.5 times right now the size it was. This is what you're looking for this. This looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and start assembling our pizza. Sauce time. Get like a slick of sauce on it. Don't be afraid of getting it on the sides like that. It kind of chars up on the sides like the sauce and the cheese does, and it's like amazing. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of spices on the sauce.
So what do you got there?
Garlic powder, if it'll come out. I'm gonna sprinkle some dry basil on. Basically all over. And then a little bit of oregano, a little less of this. Oregano's kind of strong. Then the basil, it's stronger, has more bold flavor. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the oven on. Let's do 400 or 425. Let's do 400. Let's do cheese now. Oh man, that smells funky. Put some funky cheese in here.
Funky chickens?
Now, we're gonna apply a pretty good amount of this. Let's go ahead and you want to put cheese all the way to the edge on these pan pizzas. It tastes amazing when it gets like crisp up on the sides. It's like the best part of the entire pizza. That's enough for now. We're gonna put more on the very end at the top, just a little sprinkle. Now let's do pepperoni, so they have less of a chance to burn. So grab a bunch of these. I don't know how many this is, but we'll see.
Yeah, this looks pretty good. I'm trying to get used to the lens. It's like, twice as close as before. So it's taking a minute for me to get used to it.
Looks like we got 12 on here. These are for me. Okay. Get that pepperoni grease off my hand. Let's cut up some onion. Just gonna do some thin-ish slices. Like that thick.
Okay.
Maybe one more. I think that'll be plenty. for this whole pizza.
You gotta have onions on the pizza though, it makes it way better.
That's pretty good. Now we're gonna do raw sausage. And to do this, I bought the stuff without the casing because I thought that was a waste. Why would you buy something with the casing if I'm not gonna use the casing? Just do a little like, maybe that's like quarter size. Maybe a little smaller than that. We'll do a little quarter size, thin, and just lay it on the pie. I'm gonna put a ton of this on here. I love sausage. Sausage is like my favorite topping for pizza. That looks pretty good to me. I don't know how much, this is a pound. I'd say this is about a quarter, this is about 1/8 of a pound of sausage. I mean, what's it look like? That's half. Half. That's like a quarter, about a quarter pound. I'm putting extra. Pizza's not hard. This is what I'm trying to show you. Like, I didn't even cook any of this. I haven't cooked anything yet. Like, I just mixed up dough and then threw it in a pan and let it sit. You know, it's super easy. Like, quit paying for pizza. Like, quit paying for pizza. Like, just make it. Just try to make it and like see how it comes out. You just got to believe in yourself. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more cheese over the top, just to aesthetics. Kind of covers up some of the meat a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Maybe like 2 little... Oh!
There's a magical chime.
Oven time. Okay, we're going to put it in the oven. As you can see, I got cheese on the edge. You want that. Believe me, I said that once, but dude, make sure you heed my words. And let's put it in the oven. I'll put it on the middle rack. At 400 degrees, it set a timer for, let's do 15 minutes. We'll come back and check on it in 15 minutes. It won't be totally done at that point, but it'll be a good time for us to look at it. Our timer is going off for 15 minutes in. We're gonna go ahead and check out our pizza. Oh, it's getting done. See, the sausage is actually getting brown, but
I smell it.
That is nowhere near what we want though. We want some color on this pizza. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and add probably another 10 minutes and we'll come back and check it again. I think it'll be pretty good. It's been about another 10 minutes, so it's been about 25 minutes total right now. And go ahead and turn that timer off if I can figure out how to use the oven. And that's what we got so far. It's starting to look pretty good, right?
It looks pretty good. It smells pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I want a little more brown than this, so I'm going to add about 5 more minutes on it.
Okay.
And we'll come back and check on it. And it should be pretty good. That'll be 30 minutes total, which for this size of pan and stuff, that's pretty normal. It's been about another 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and turn the timer off again. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. That is what we're going for. You see all that brown and yellow? Yeah, some people might think that looks burnt. No, this tastes awesome. This is what you want. And there we go. That's what it'll look like. Usually I like to let it kind of sit up in here a little bit, but if you let it sit in the pan like this after it comes out, it can get kind of soggy on the bottom. And you hear that crunch? We want to maintain that. There we go. We got a little rippage, but it's okay. See all that steam coming out? If you don't remove that, that steam just gets trapped in the pan and it makes the bottom get soggy. So do this step. Right. And if it's a big pan, try to get it out with more than one spatula because it's gonna fall apart. Back in the tasting lab once again. As you can see, we got our pizza on this cooling rack. As soon as we took it out of the oven, we pretty much took it out and put it on this because it's still steaming like hot and like it ends up getting kind of soggy on the bottom if you leave it in the pan too long, I think. And we kind of broke it over here, as you can kind of see it dip down. It's gonna be good, don't worry about it. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put it on this cutting board and slice it up. See, that's the part that broke. All right. Moved it onto our cutting board. I'm gonna cut this in half. You can hear the crunch on there. Hear that? I'm gonna cut it into 8 pieces. So that'd be perfect. It's pretty good. Go ahead and slide that over there. So you can see the little air pockets of this dough. This is a very, very soft dough. There's the bottom. It got a little sogged up, but it would have been way soggier if we didn't take it out. Sides, crunchy. You can see all that. More greasy. It's greasy pizza.
It may not be moisture, it may be grease.
It could be. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a. Oh wait, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Yeah. Oh, we got our napkins because this is. We finally got napkins. A little crushed red pepper, maybe throw on top. Gotta have a little ginger ale, you know. Canada Dry. Send me something in the mail. I would love it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take a
Are you
bite.
from Canada?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man. And this is the best pizza I've ever made. And I've made like probably like 100 pizzas. But yeah, this is good. Oh man. It's really soft. The sausage is done, yeah. It's really soft. I don't know the best way to show this.
You just look up there, that's the close-up one.
Oh yeah, it's super soft. Like, it's not doughy either. Lots of little air bubbles, some big air bubbles. The cheese is really good. The onion in here was like good. Onion is really good in pizza like this. Cheese pizza. This pan pizza, onions I think are required because they kind of like caramelize on the top and all the cheese caramelized along with our sausages that cooked in on top of it raw and like that soaked into the crust. And the sauce we got on there is good with a bunch of, we put more herbs on it, but it's really good. Oh my God.
Who's starving again?
I'm only eating ramen today. So yes, I'm very starving. But this is the best pizza I've ever made. Maybe not, crust isn't the best because I've had better crust. That flour, I need to use less water with it or something. But it still came out really well. It tastes really good. It worked out in the end. Oh my God.
Is it better than any pizza you've ever had, ever in your life, ever?
I don't know if I can say that.
Is it better than...
I don't make pizza every day of my life like those places
better than
do.
the New Haven place?
No, because I had a wood-fired oven. I don't have that. This side stuff is the best part though. This kind of like looks like it's burnt cheese, but it doesn't taste like burnt. It doesn't taste burnt. It just tastes, it's the best part. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Make it. Seriously, this is probably the easiest thing we've done out of all of our videos. And it's probably the best, actually. I'm not gonna, this is awesome. Other stuff is really good too. This is unhealthy good. This is like the best, this is the best video we've ever made. This is the best thing. If you want to eat a pizza and you have like a little bit of time, or maybe you don't have time and you want to make it in advance, like I said, the other part, make the dough and don't put it in the pan and just throw it in the fridge in a bag. Or you could actually put it in the pan and put plastic wrap on it. Throw it in the fridge if you got room and do it overnight and make it the next day. You can leave it in there for like a day or two. It's fine, a couple days.
We've done it for a few days, right?
It's fine, it'll just be more, it'll have a more intense yeast flavor, almost like beer flavor if you leave it in there for a long time. But if you're gonna do it that way, pull back on the yeast a little bit, maybe by like half, because it doesn't need as much. We try to do this one quicker, so we put a little more yeast into it. But you get more depth of flavor if you put them in the fridge like that and let them cold ferment.
Oh. Is that enough to make one pizza, or?
We used about 6 or 7 grams, which is like 2 of those packets.
Okay.
This is a lot. Normally you use around one packet. I think one packet's 3.5 grams.
Okay, so maybe you should buy a bigger package of yeast if you're gonna make a bunch of pizza.
We're trying to make this fast though. If you're gonna like do it over like 4 hours or something, whereas actually your house isn't like 50 or 60 degrees, really cold, 1 packet of yeast is plenty for this amount. You could actually probably, if you're gonna put it in the fridge overnight, you might even want to go back a little bit on that yeast.
Okay.
It seems like it. The one that we bought a giant bag from a club store. I think it's different. Like we usually use King Arthur flour because it's, I don't know, it's just normally it's nicer, higher quality, and they don't bleach it or use brominate it, which I'm not really sure what bromination's for in flour, but I think this one is both, and I think that's why it takes less water to like make it come together than like King Arthur does.
Huh.
I'm not exactly sure on that. We use King Arthur for all our other stuff, so maybe we should make a video where we use King Arthur.
Yeah, it might help.
Because like before, like this, that's why when we poured it out, it was like really hard to handle. With the King Arthur stuff, it was sticky, but it wasn't that hard to handle, and it stayed together better. It's super filling because there's a lot more dough. There's a lot more crust in this. Like there's the same amount of cheese and stuff you get on the other pizza, but then there's also more crust, so you don't really need to eat as much of it.
That's why I like.
That's more. complete of a meal than just fat. Like there's more than just fat in here, like a normal pizza. Normal pizza is just like a bunch of cheese and then meat, and like a tiny thin thing of like crust. This is more substantial. This whole thing is going to feed me like 3 more times if I don't eat another piece right now, which I think I might. Yeah, check in for another video on how to reheat pizza in an air fryer, because it makes it like a totally new it's like it's better than it'll be better tomorrow. So it's got all the crispy, and then it's got all the cheese gets more melted again. Oh my god, it's so good. That's so good. That's the only way I reheat pizza now, unless I'm really lazy. It doesn't make it like tough either. Like you can reheat Papa John's, whoever you want. Like you have takeout if you don't want to make my recipe and you got pizza and you want to reheat it. Watch that video, because if you have an air fryer, because it makes it so much better. Because reheating some pizza makes it like really hard to chew, and like it's a pain in the butt to eat. That thing doesn't do that. We're going on too long. This is too long.
All right.
It's 17 minutes. I don't really have anything else to say. I didn't have a conclusion. I ate it and I talked about it. So
Best pizza of all time. Championship level pizza.
well, I could do more to it to make it better, but it was pretty awesome. Yeah,
Yeah. This is
the best one I've made.
entry 1 in our soon-to-be pizza series.
We're not gonna eat pizza again for another like 6 months after this. Just like Mexican food. I'm gonna eat another piece.
I'm not gonna eat another piece. Oh, I'm gonna eat another piece.